Now, early last week came a report from the Pension Transition Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, that it had received 26,505,862 pounds 97 pence repatriated pension funds from Crown Agents Investment Management (CAIM). The pensions funds had been under investment with Crown Agent Investment Management Limited, United Kingdom. Well, the Executive Secretary of PTAD, Dr. Choma Ejikeme, is here to give insight into the funds being repatriated and, of course, its usage. You're welcome to Business Express, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Great. So for most Nigerians, the question really will be, how did these funds get to Crown Investments, and why are they coming back now?
There were funds, pension funds that were actually invested by the Nigerian government, with Crown agents. The origin for the main part, the Civil Service Pension Fund, was to take care of colonial pensioners. The colonial masters that served, they had their pension and they had gone back to the UK, and there were some other, reasons why the funds were invested with Crown agents. That was in 1990, as a matter of fact. But with the pension reform, all pension funds and assets are to be sent back to the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, designated CBN accounts for use. So that's why we asked for them to bring back the funds.
Okay, ma'am. So what other arms of government are you working with in this whole arrangement?
Naturally, we had to work with the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and the Ministry of Finance, because they actually eventually invested the funds. And we had to work with the Ministry of Justice to enable us go through the legal rigmarole to get the funds back, because the investors wanted to be sure, time has passed. They wanted to be sure they were sending the money back to the right people. And we had a presidential approval for the funds to be repatriated to PTAD.
Okay, ma'am. So there's also a statement from your office that over 120 billion naira is accrued arrears owed pensioners. What is the size of these funds that is going into payment of those arrears?
The fund converted into naira came up to about 15.1 billion. So, take away 15.1 billion from that. That's what it looks like. But it really is going to go a long way to sort out some of our pension liabilities, while we hope that over the years we'll be able to do the rest.
Okay, and then there's also the issue of some pensioners who got the presidential approval as well, as was disclosed some weeks back, to get their to get updated to the right scheme of things now. So we're seeing some increase that is going to go to payments. So really, how far has that gone?
Okay, you must be talking about the consequential adjustment,
yes,
to, as a result of the increase in the minimum wage.
Yes,
yes, that was supposed to take effect from April of 2019. And as at May of 2021, we've applied that consequential adjustment. And we had paid 12 months arrears for 3 of the operational departments and 9 months for the civil service pension department. But before the end of this week, we're going to round up 18 months for everybody. For the civil service pension department, we're going to pay an additional 9 months. And for the other departments that we had paid 12 months, we're going to pay 6 months. So everybody would get their arrears of 18 months. We have a total arrears of 24 months as a result of that increment. So before the end of this week, we would round up 18 months, and hopefully before the end of the year, we believe we should be able to sort out the arrears.
Okay, for most pensioners, they would also be thinking, I'm just trying to fit myself into the shoes, of course. Yeah. We have a huge debt of about 120 billion. We have, as you have broken it down now, about 50 billion taken care of. So technically,
15.
oh, sorry, 15,
Yes,
15.
yes.
So technically speaking, there's still a huge gap of over 100
These
million.
pensioners actually belong to the defunct privatized agencies.
Okay.
They are the ones, it was a huge liability that we inherited because post-privatization, their pension assets were not handed over to PTAD. It was just the liability of their pensions and their entitlement. So over the years, we've been trying to settle that. Like you know, privatization took place like about 2005, and that's a whole lot. So we don't think or expect that we will be able to sort out the liability in one day. You know what I mean? It's taken quite some time, but we're believing and hoping that very soon we'll find a way to sort it out, maybe in the next 1 or 2 or 3 years. When we spread out the money over the years, we should be able to sort that out because it's a huge liability accumulated over the years.
Okay, so how would you rate the first 6 months performance of your agency, of course, in collaboration with the presidency and relevant agencies? How would you rate the services being rendered to pensioners?
I think it's been great. I think it's been awesome. And if you notice, you'll see that pensioners have calmed down to a certain extent. We've actually been doing a lot in terms of taking care of arrears of pension, a lot of our civil service pensioners who had been verified but had not been paid. And in the last 6 months, we've paid over 7-point-something billion in arrears to civil service pension department pensioners. A lot of them not on payroll, we've put them on payroll. So over 30-something thousand pensioners have been affected by that. And in the parastatal pension department that we had done their verification, we've also been validating their verification. We've paid one-off payments to some of the defunct agencies like Aluminium Smelter Company, Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, Assurance Bank. You know, we've been Nigerian National Shipping. We've been putting them on the payroll and paying them their arrears. So, and over 2.9 billion spent in that particular project. And this consequential adjustment, I must tell you, it is the most impactful and most equitable pension increment in the history of pension increments in Nigeria, because it has kind of introduced what looks like a minimum pension. So you find out that there's no pensioner in Nigeria who is under PTAD that would be earning less than a certain amount of money. So that has really gone a long way, and I think the pensioners are happy.
Okay, ma, can you tell us something about the I Am Alive project before you leave?
The I'm Alive solution, you know, over the years, we've been verifying our pensioners for the integrity of our database and to make sure that no eligible pensioner is left out. And at the same time, to make sure that no pensioner who's not supposed to be on our database is there. You have to be qualified to be on our database. It's quite a rigorous process. We've been doing field verifications for them. We call them out, even though they're treated very well, you know, with a lot of dignity, empathy, and care. But we still believe that we could go further. So the I'm Alive solution is a solution that would enable a pensioner to verify himself in the comfort of his home.
Okay.
It's an app that would enable him verify himself in the comfort of his home. And when he does that, if he doesn't have a smartphone, I'm sure there must be somebody in his community that has a smartphone, or his child or grandchild, you know what I mean? So they will always come and help out, maybe once in 3 months, and verify. And the minute you do that, it hits our database. So we'll know that the pensioner is still alive. So over time, we will now decide if you have not verified, we remove you from the payroll because we will assume that you're not alive. But we intend to create a lot of awareness.
Do they take pictures or do videos?
Yes. First of all, it will take your picture and it will pull out your database, your data from all your information from our database, because they have a handshake, and then you have to make certain movements to show that you're really alive, and then it captures that and then verifies you and sends it to our database.
Okay, I must sincerely thank you, Dr. Ejikeme,
Thank you very
sparing
much.
time to speak to us.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, great.